Hi, this is Doug in my Mavic Air 2, and today I want to talk a little bit about color grading, or actually just color enhancing. Let's call it that. I've seen many videos out there on YouTube that are done by excellent filmmakers showing D-Cinelike and D-Log editing and with very nice software, and they've done great work, and I respect them greatly. Most of them maybe are doing this for a living. They're either photographers or videographers or perhaps YouTube people. So they have invested a good deal of time, effort, money, and everything in doing what they need to do for their chosen occupation, if you will. But most of us aren't that way. We're just normal folks trying to fly our drone out and get some normal videos and normal shots. And quite honestly, to spend $21 a month on a editing software that is $252 a year, or $1,260 in 5 years, and you still don't even own it, you just are leasing it or subscribing to it, that's not what I want to do, quite honestly. So this video is about normal people taking normal videos and editing in the videos in a fashion that anybody can do for quite a bit less money. In fact, I found a couple of video editing softwares for $70, which is not all that much, all things considered. And they do a fair amount of good work. One of them in particular that I've finalized with and have decided to stick with can do all that I need to do at this point in time. Might I switch someday to something bigger and fancier? I doubt it, but you never know. But for now, this is what I need, and filming in D-Cinelike and D-Log, I just don't like to do it. Just me, maybe. And I find that I don't need to do it. And I think that for many of you out there, that this video will apply. If you're one of those fantastic videographers that's done some great work, this is not something you need to watch. And if you're someone that's thinking about going in that direction, you can watch. I welcome you to. But really, this is about keeping it simple and keeping it reasonable and easy for regular people to do this work. Take a look at these samples, see what you think. If it makes sense for you, then don't hesitate to film in the regular formats and edit in regular formats. And don't feel the need to go crazy with all this extravagance. And don't let the high price of the software and the difficulties that might be associated with all of that put you off from editing your own videos. It can be done, and you can do a great job of it. So take a look, see what you think, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I've put together 4 different clips here, each one in regular mode. I shouldn't say that. The first 3 are in regular mode. The fourth one is in D-Cinelike, just to give a flavor for what it can do and what it looks like. But the samples are meant to show that normal photography can be edited and to look enhanced and get very good results. These first 3 clips are shot in just auto exposure, ISO 100, very typical of what all of us might do whenever we're filming any scenes or subjects. The first one was a burnt area after a fire, and this was some sandstone rocks. And here's some waves down at the beach on a little bit of an overcast day. I know there's a shadow there of the person walking, but it was actually sort of overcast, and so the camera made it a little bit darker than perhaps necessary. But it is what it is. So that's our footage from the beach. This next one is a D-Cinelike shot in lava fields out in the desert, and you can see that very little saturation or color showing up here. The sky's flat, everything is pretty flat. That's what D-Cinelike is like, but it also means you have to fly in D-Cinelike. Now here's the first of the clips, enhanced, just basically adding saturation and adding, in my case, contrast. You can add all kinds of things, but really just a couple of changes here and there can make quite a bit of difference. You can see that there's just a lot more vibrance and a lot more snap. It's just got a much more pleasing texture to it. There's the same thing here with the sandstone. The greens are just highlighted a little bit. The color of the sandstone is brought out just a bit, and the sky just a bit. You don't have to tweak hugely. You can tweak lightly or heavy. It's all up to you. It's all in your eye. But again, this is natural footage, not D-Cinelike, not D-Log at all. And here's the water down at the beach. I think this is a striking difference. Again, mostly just saturation and added contrast. There's very little else done to this, but the difference between the original and this footage is fairly striking, I thought, and quite pleasing. Now the lava here, again, this was done in D-Cin the first time, D-Cinelike. Now it's the same footage, just enhanced. Again, contrast and saturation, pretty much it. That's all you really need, and it's, I think, quite a bit more vibrant. And here's a side-by-side just to really put it in perspective. I did them separately originally just to try to keep your mind from separating the two, to not have you overly influenced by seeing one set of footage or the other. But here you can see them side by side, and I think the contrast is quite a bit more striking. Not so much in the sandstone one here, although you definitely see it. The sky is noticeably bluer. The grass and the flowers out there are a little bit more yellow and more green, and the sandstone's got just a tad more color in it. And the beach scene is pretty evident here. The scene on the left, which is normal footage, just doesn't have anything going for it really. On the right, that's quite something, very striking. Maybe overdone, but that's the beauty of it. If you don't like that on the right, you could tone it down just a bit and make it more pleasing to your eye if that's how you felt it should look. And here, the lava here is really showing up in the edit. Now again, this is from a D-Cinelike footage, but still, just normal editing, very simple, nothing dramatic. This is how you fly when you're flying normally, which is the way I like to fly. If you want to film a D-Cinelike, then you end up flying like that, and it's so flat, and there's no contrast. And quite honestly, it's a little harder to fly when you can't see the contrast and the details. Just not pleasing to me. Again, do you want to fly like you see on the left, or do you want to fly like you see on the right? Now, I know you can always fly to the location, go to the camera mode, switch to D-Cinelike, then take your footage, do whatever you got to do. Then when you're finished, you can take it back from camera mode and go to normal mode. But that's not what I want to do, quite honestly.
Okay, well, there were some samples, I hope, that showed what I was trying to get across. Again, I have the greatest respect for some of the videographers out there that put out some amazing stuff, and I still like to watch them on YouTube and see what they do and how they do it. I know they can do it in simply if they want, and some of them have put videos together that are talking about doing it simply, but they almost always go to D-Cinelike or D-Log to start, and I just think that's the first step that we don't need to do. Certainly, it can be done very nicely, no doubt about it. And one of my samples, I think, showed that as well. But I think the important thing is that normal photography can be edited, can be color enhanced, and you can get some really great results that you'll be happy with to share, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. So I hope that makes sense. Good luck for trying that, and thanks for watching.